Hi all, I'm Grey Wolf Psychic Medium, and today I want to talk about working with the spirit world. Okay, so today I want to talk a bit about mediumship. Now, for a lot of us out there, people work with the spirit world and they bring messages through from loved ones in many different ways. Now, when I first started, I thought that all mediums worked in the same way, and they all had the same gifts, and they could all bring the same information. Little did I know at the time that that wasn't the case at all, and that all mediums work in completely different ways. And I've seen different mediums along the way do different things and bring different messages and different insights, and we all have our own thing that I suppose that we work best with. Now, as a medium, I see images in my mind here, so in my third eye. Now, I see these images and I can work with these images, and a picture, I suppose, is universal for everybody. And that goes across the line for everything. There's nothing more universal than pictures, okay? You don't have to be able to speak the same language if you're communicating with somebody from a different country. You don't have to speak the same language. Pictures are universal, so we can all understand or interpret pictures. Okay, so for me as a medium, that's what I work with. I work with images mostly. Now I do work with feelings, and I also work with sounds and words that I get coming in as well. Now obviously you can also taste, you can also hear, you can also feel, you can also smell. Okay, and there's also something called clair knowing. So when you know something, you don't know why you know it, but you just know it. It's one of the gifts, spiritual gifts given essentially. Okay, clair knowing. You don't know why you know, you just know. I mainly work with clairvoyance, so seeing images here. So I look at somebody essentially, and as I look at them in their eyes, the first thing I do is I see images of their spirit family stepping from the side of them and start coming out. Now every medium works differently. This is just the way that I work. Now I can look at someone and I can just pull them forward like this, and I invite their family to come forward. Now every medium's going to work differently. Some will sit there and they'll meditate for 10 minutes first, and they'll do a lot of heavy breathing, and they'll get themselves into a more higher consciousness state to be able to work with the spirit world. Some people don't see, some people only hear. Okay, so they'll only be able to go by what they're hearing, so they won't necessarily be able to describe the people, but they'll be able to hear what they're saying. Some mediums will feel, so they won't be able to hear, nor will they be able to see. They'll only be able to feel. So they'll say, I feel this gentleman's a kind gentleman, I feel this gentleman's this, I feel this gentleman's that. And this is generally because that's the spiritual gift they've been given. Okay, so we all work in different ways. Now for myself as a medium, I also work with spirit animals too. So spirit animals, the way that spirit animals work is the animal could have belonged to you, it could have belonged to mum, dad, nan, granddad, aunties or uncles, or just a friend. But the way the animal works is it gets to know you just like I get to know you. I become your friend. The animals work in exactly the same way. They get to know you, they become your friend, and they also want to come through. So when I'm doing readings a lot of the time, I see a lot of animals around people, and it can be anything from cats, dogs, rabbits, horses, turtles. It can be anything. Everything has a spirit, everything has a soul. And when I'm working, I like to work with the animal spirit world to also bring validation that the animals from the spirit world also sit by our side watching us and guiding us too. So we all work in different ways, and not all mediums will be able to work with the animals, because some people they're meant to do it, and I suppose some people that are not meant to do it. It doesn't mean that anyone's better or worse than anybody else. It just means that we all have our own gifts that help us work in certain ways. Now the other thing I've noticed as well about mediumship and giving messages to people is also certain mediums, I think, are meant to give certain messages to certain people. And I think this is because their level of understanding and experience, or life experience that they've gone through. And I think this is because that they can show a sympathetic a sympathetic ear to some of the things that there might be coming out in the readings. Now, you might find somebody, for instance, that may have gone through domestic violence. Again, if you've gone through some sort of domestic violence yourself as a medium, you're going to be able to empathise with this quite easily, and you're going to be able to understand this energy very, very easily. Again, if it's something to do with trauma around childhood or anything like that, again, if you've experienced it yourself as a medium, again, you'll be able to bring this message through with as much empathy as possible and compassion, to be able to bring the message through in the way that it needs to be brought through, with compassion and understanding of what the person may have gone through or is going through. And I think that's why certain mediums are meant to give certain messages to people, because we don't all have the same level of understanding of, say, domestic abuse or trauma or childhood trauma. We don't all have that same understanding of those things, because we've not been able to experience it ourselves firsthand. It's very, very difficult to be able to understand it. So that's why I think when you're working with the spirit world, in some ways I think you've chosen to give certain messages to certain people that need certain messages or certain help within their lives, because if you've had that life experience yourself, you're going to be able to work with that energy very, very easily and understand that energy very, very easily. And I think that's why different mediums give different messages to different people. We've all had our own life experiences that we can all relate to, and I suppose working as a medium, it sort of helps us when we're seeing these images or feeling these things or hearing these things about these people. It gives us a deeper understanding of what it is that's coming through and how to deliver that message, because nobody wants a message of, I know you've gone through this, without any compassion or empathy at all. So this is another way when you're working with the spirit world, where I believe that you was meant to give a message to a certain person depending on your own life experience. So for myself as a medium, I understand that from the very, very beginning, when I very started sitting in development circle at Spiritual Church, the animals started to come through, certain things started to happen, and I started to work with these animals and the images straight away, because that was, I suppose, what I understood. I understood it very, very clearly. Pictures are universal. And I suppose the other thing is as well, with the animals when they come through, no, they don't go woof woof and start talking to me in any kind of way like that. I get shown pictures, and like I say, pictures are universal. So again, a dog has a spirit, the dog comes through, I get to see what the dog looks like, and then the dog might show me injuries on itself, the sort of thing that it might have passed with. So again, it's just by me interpreting these images and to what I feel the images represent when they come through as well. So again, it's just finding that deeper understanding of working with the spirit world, and where you kind of fit into that, and what sort of message that you're going to deliver to whichever person. So again, it's just working things out, going to the Spiritual Church, sitting there talking to like-minded people in the development class, and when you're doing these things, it helps you to get that deeper understanding of the spirit world or psychic energy as well, because again, that's something else that you'd learn sitting in development circle, and help you develop further as well, because there's many different ways of reading. It's not just by images or feelings. We can read people in several different ways as well. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video today. I'm Grey Wolf Psychic Medium. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, please share, and leave a comment in the bottom. And anything else that you want to talk about, again, leave it on the comments bit below. And anything that you liked about the video today, again, just leave your comments beyond. Thanks for listening. I'm Grey Wolf.